I'm here with Willie Behan from Rathangan, originally from Cullelan, living out in Cullelan all his life. Isn't that right, Willie?
That's right.
And a man that worked on Ballydermot all your life too. How many years were you at Ballydermot now?
44 year.
44 years. And would have started there, I suppose, what, as an apprentice, is it?
Started an apprentice in 29th September 1957.
Right. And what age were you then, Willie?
17.
17.
Had to work 8 months, and then you come to be insured. You had to be 18 to be insured. You couldn't do any overtime or anything before that.
Right. And would you be one of the first apprentices now that were taken on
No,
by?
I wasn't the first. There was a few lads in front of me, Mick Byrne, Mick Corey, Lar Dowling.
Right.
They would have been in front of me.
Yeah. And what would your daily duties now going in as the apprentice now? What would you?
Well, your daily duties, you could be at anything. Usually, be repairs to machines. You could be on the lathe. You could be welding, or you could be on engines.
Right. And that's
but you got a chance everywhere. You did engines, welding, turning, and general fitting. You did everything.
And that was all at Ballydermot then?
It was all in Ballydermot, yeah. Oh. Well, in the early 90s, of course, the work practices had to change. We had a new director, which was Eddie O'Connor, and we had to start to do outside work. So one particular summer, 4 of us had to go down to Ringaskiddy down in Cork, down to ADM, to do an overhaul for 12 days, 12 hours every day. And they produced citric acid for mineral waters. Another job we had to do, we made in 1994, 5 of us made the first set of pylons for wind turbines. And when they were made, they were brought down to Ballydermot down in County Mayo, and they are still, I believe, in operation. They were the first of them.
First of the wind turbines in Ireland.
That's right.
Made it in Ballydermot there. Right. Well, that's a great achievement, I suppose, in a sense, to have to your name. And as for, say, going back to, I suppose, who was employed there or came to train, I suppose they came from all over Ireland, I suppose, originally, did they? And it was great employment for the area, I suppose, and like a magnet, I suppose, for young people coming, was it? Or
they did. They came. Each year, you had 5 fitters, apprentices, and 1 electrician, and each of them had to do 5 years. So then you had, in the 5 years, you had 25 people, and they were all staying around in the locality, a lot of them, because they came up from different parts of the country, and they were in digs and in Rathangan, you know.
Right, and they had the camp out there as well, which was.
Well, in the early stages of you had the camp, you had the Ballydermot hostel, and at that time you had 400 workers, an average of 400 workers in that hostel, and they came from very parts of the country, from all over.
Right.
They were general operatives, most of them.
Yeah, I suppose eventually some of them settled here as well, I suppose, and are still.
Well, they did, of course, yeah. They did settle. A lot of them settled here. You know.
Okay.
During my time in the workshop, we had a foreman, you had 3 supervisors, an engineer, and a manager. That's what Ballydermot comprised of. Our workshop foreman, all during my time, was Paddy Kelly.
Right.
From Cheyenne.
Oh, right. Okay. Local man. Yeah.
During the day, the foreman would allot you work, whatever work was to be done, and if there was machines to be repaired out the bog, he'd send you out there. And then during the production season, which started off on the 17th of March every year, and it ended then with the second cutting around the end of August. But during that particular months of the year, you'd be on shift work. One fitter, electrician, van driver, and a storeman. That's the four that would be on the shift. And you'd have to cover the machines whenever breakdowns occur during the particular shift.
Right. Okay. So you're all kept busy. And what do you think about, I suppose, the new energy now that they have evolved into or taken over? Is it?
Well, I suppose time moves on, and it doesn't stand still for anyone. So change takes place, and it's going to take place whether we like it or not. And we've got to move with the times, and like there's not really a thing you can do about it.
It seems to be the way to go.
Yeah.
And that's just it, and we have to give it a try, I suppose,
Yeah.
isn't that it, you know? Well, listen, thanks very much for your memories of life on the board in Ballydermot, and there were good times.
Well, they were great times.
Great times, you
Great
know.
times.
Yeah, and not all hard work. It's some fun and games too.
Oh, there was plenty of that, yeah.
Plenty of that. Well, I'm glad to
Every
hear.
day.
What?
Every day.
Is
It
that
was
it?
always
Well,
something.
we'll have to do the fun and games one another time. As I say, thanks very much, Willie, for your time.
Okay, Eddie, thanks.
Take care.